Hello everybody, welcome back to Simple Gaming Review for another video for tonight. And tonight I'm going to be talking about the PlayStation 1 and how I feel this console is slightly underrated compared to its, other systems like the PS2 and stuff. But I do feel that the PS1 is slightly underrated, and it's always going to be kind of living in the shadow. Even though it's the first one, it always kind of lives in the shadow of like the PlayStation 2. And people don't really think about the PS1 too much because it's like, well, you can play all these PS1 games on PS3 and PS2, and people kind of just seem to like forget about it. But the PS1 I think is an amazing PlayStation console with some of the best games ever. You got the classic Medal of Honor, the original one, Medal of Honor Underground. You got Crash, Spyro, the original Resident Evil, and so on. I even like Rainbow Six for the PlayStation 1. But, the PS1 is just a solid game system. I've always really appreciated the PS1 and really have enjoyed it. And yeah, the PS1 in my collection is the PS Classic. I did used to have the original one, and then I believe I gave it to someone. But the PS1, in my opinion, is a solid console. Has some really fantastic games. Even games like GTA is on the PS1. That's where like GTA started on the PS1. And I just think that the PS1 is a very amazing console. I actually got a comment to one of my videos. I think that was like a couple weeks ago. But I've actually had people say that they believe the PS1 sucks. And that really hurts me for somebody to say that. It's like, dude, the PlayStation 1 is fantastic, okay? So much fun to be had with this console. Spyro, you got all four Ridge Racing. I think the original Gran Turismo is on the console, Resident Evil. This thing is packed with some of the best games ever. And to say that the PS1 sucks, I don't know what kind of rock some people are living under, but if people actually play the PS1, it is a solid experience. And if you buy the PS Classic, you can actually add games to it with a USB stick. So, yeah, it's a pretty fun console. But anyway, I'm in the video. Hope you all enjoy. But let me know in the comment section below if you think the PlayStation 1 is kind of an underrated console. That's kind of like overshadowed by like other PlayStation systems. But in my opinion, when it comes to PlayStation consoles and just consoles in general, the PS1 is very iconic. It's very cool. And yeah, it has a really good library, some really fantastic games like GTA, Resident Evil, Medal of Honor. It's just a great console. And I think the PS1 definitely deserves some appreciation because it is the thing that started PlayStation to begin with, And, even if you have a PlayStation 2 or PS3 in your library, you should definitely check out some PS1 games. Or if you want the original experience, you should definitely pick up an original PS1 console to get that original feel, you know what I mean? But it's just a fantastic system. And I think it's underappreciated, honestly. I think that it is very underrated because I think people talk more about the PS2 than the PS1. But it's like, well, the PS1 is still very important to gaming history. It was a very good console. It was the best selling of its time. It was, it really did good when it came to console sales. It was like the best. I think it was like first place, compared to the 64 and the Sega Saturn. And again, you just had a lot of fantastic games on the PlayStation 1, and I don't think people really think too much about the PS1. Or ever really mention it too much, But I think it's very important. I think if you're a PlayStation fan, or just a gamer in general that loves video games and loves consoles, the PS1 is definitely a console that's a blast to play. The games are great, the games are fun. It's actually super cheap nowadays to get games and the PS1 console itself. Plus you have the PS Classic that comes built in with 20 games. if people want to go that direction with it. You get the PS3, PS2, that obviously play PS1 games. But even though we have all these options, though, I still think PS1's great. And yeah, anyway, I'm in the video. Hope you all enjoy. Leave a like, comment down below what you think, and is the PlayStation 1 a underrated